Imagine just one bet. A bet that could steal 15 years of your life, ruin a man's fortune, or even shatter everything you thought you knew about life itself. Today, we dive into a story that's not real, but feels truer than reality, by the legendary Russian master, Anton Chekhov. The title, The Bet. Ready to see how one simple wager changed two souls forever? Then keep your eyes wide open.
Hi, I'm Dina, and welcome to the channel 3 Dina Animation Stories. If you enjoyed today's story, make sure to support us.
Friends, the story I'm about to tell you is a beautiful, profound, and thought-provoking tale by Anton Chekhov, titled The Bet. Stay with me and listen closely. It was one of those dark autumn nights. An old banker paced slowly across his study, lost in a memory from 15 years ago, back when he was younger, wealthier, and full of fire. That autumn, he'd hosted a lavish party filled with intellectuals, journalists, and scholars. The conversation turned to capital punishment. Most guests strongly opposed it, calling it outdated, inhumane, and unworthy of a civilized Christian society. They argued that life imprisonment should replace execution worldwide. But the banker, then in his prime, disagreed. No, he said, if I had to choose between the two, I'd say execution is far more humane. It ends your suffering instantly. Life imprisonment, that slowly drains your soul, day after day, year after year. Which executioner is kinder? The one who kills you in seconds, or the one who tortures you for decades? One guest countered, both are equally immoral. The state has no right to take a life it can never give back. Among the crowd was a young lawyer, only 25. When asked his opinion, he calmly replied, I agree both are wrong, but if forced to choose, I'd pick life imprisonment, because any kind of life is better than no life at all. The debate grew heated. Suddenly, the banker slammed his fist on the table and shouted, That's a lie. I bet you 2 million rubles you couldn't last even 5 years in solitary confinement. The lawyer smiled. Really? If you're serious, I'll take that bet, and I'll stay not 5 but 15 years. Done, cried the banker. Accepted, said the lawyer. And so, a strange and dangerous wager began. The banker, then fabulously rich, joked at dinner. Young man, you still have time to back out. 2 million means nothing to me, but you'll lose the best years of your life. Trust me, you won't last more than 3 or 4. Voluntary imprisonment is far crueler than forced jail, because every moment, you know you could walk away. That thought alone is poison. Now, years later, the old banker walked his study, haunted by regret. Why did I make that bet? What was the point? He loses 15 years of his life. I lose 2 million. Does this prove anything about punishment? No, it was all vanity, a rich man's whim, and he, just chasing money. He remembered the terms. The lawyer would live in a small garden lodge on the banker's estate. For 15 years, he couldn't see or speak to anyone, read newspapers, or receive letters. But he could have books, music, wine, and tobacco. Anything requested through a small window. The confinement would last exactly from November 14, 1870, to November 14, 1885. If the lawyer left even a minute early, the banker wouldn't pay. Year 1, the lawyer suffered terribly. He played piano all night but refused wine and cigars, rioting. Wine awakens desires, prisoners' worst enemies, and smoking fouls the air. He read light fiction, romances, comedies, adventure tales. Year 2, no more piano, only wine. Visitors said he drank, slept, and muttered angrily to himself. He'd write at night, then tear it all up by morning. His sobs were often heard. Year 6, suddenly, he devoured languages, philosophy, and history. So hungry was his mind, that the banker struggled to supply enough books. In 4 years, he reads 600 volumes. Once he wrote, "Dear Warden, I've written this in 6 languages. Show it to experts. If they find no errors, please fire 2 shots in the garden. I'll hear them and know my effort wasn't in vain." Across all nations, people speak different tongues, but within each burns the same sacred flame. Oh, if only you could feel the secret joy in my soul. They fired the shots. Year 10. He read only the New Testament. Later, history and theology replaced it. Final 2 years. He read everything: chemistry, medicine, Shakespeare, Byron, like a drowning man grabbing at every floating plank, desperate for salvation. Now the old banker trembled. Tomorrow at noon, he walks free. I must pay him 2 million, but I'm ruined. 15 years ago, that sum meant nothing. Now, I don't even know if my debts outweigh my assets. He's only 40. He'll marry, enjoy life, invest in the stock market, and I'll stand by like a beggar, hearing him say daily, "I owe my happiness to you." No, I can't bear it. The only way out is his death. At 3 a.m., in silence broken only by wind rustling through trees, the banker crept to the lodge. The guard was gone, likely sheltering from the rain. Inside, by candlelight, sat the lawyer, gaunt, long-haired, bearded, yellow-skinned, barely human. On the desk lay a note. The banker read, "At noon tomorrow, I gain my freedom. But before I leave, I must say, I despise freedom, life, health, every blessing your books praise. For 15 years, I've lived through your pages. I've climbed mountains, sailed oceans, loved women, hunted beasts, heard fairy songs, debated gods. Yet now I see it all as illusion. Empty, fragile, deceptive as a mirage. You proud, wise, beautiful people, you're no more than mice hiding in holes. One day you, your art, this earth, all will vanish. I reject your 2 million. 5 minutes before my term ends, I'll walk out, breaking our contract, so I never claim that money. What once seemed like heaven to me now fills me with disgust." The banker shivered. There was no need to kill him. The lawyer had already rejected victory. He returned home, locked the letter in his safe, and never spoke of it again. If this story left a question in your mind, or a quiet shiver in your heart, then Chekhov's mission is complete. But our journey, it's just getting started. Every week we bring you tales like this, full of mystery, wisdom, and hidden truths. So if you want to keep exploring the deeper side of stories, like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss a moment, because the next story might be the one your soul's been waiting for. Thank you for watching with me. I'm 3 Dina, and this is where stories come alive.